So hey all the future assistant professors, welcome back to English for English by Pooja Singh. Today we are going to talk about Indian literature complete revision for your UGC NET English, right? So the very first thing is that why are we reading Indian literature, right? So why we are reading it? Because it is the story of how India thinks, feels, writes, expresses itself in English. Because until unless you are not knowing how it originated, what Indian literature is and how it is important, it is going to be very difficult for you to just mug up. You don't have to mug up, you have to understand why Indian literature is important, why we give so much of emphasis to Indian literature. So today we will be talking about colonial experiences, post colonial identity, cultural conflict, feminism, caste, marginal voices, migration, diaspora, or Indian philosophical aesthetics. So I have designed it very, it took me a lot of time to design this particular Indian literature. A lot of you were asking about, ma'am, please make a complete series on Indian literature. So this is a complete revision for your UGC NET English. Those who don't know anything about Indian literature, if you will watch this class, you are going to understand why Indian literature is important, and you will definitely going to get marks from this particular class. So don't miss the end. It is going to be a very long video. So take a copy, a notebook with you so that you write everything in it, because it is very, very important. So why Indian literature is important? Why Indian literature is important? It is important because it connects literature with history and society. It talks about how we were connected as a society. We were before independence, colonial and the post-colonial journey. It also introduces thinkers like novelists, poets, and dramatists. It is very important to understand and make a understanding of it. It also form the base theory, literature, integration questions, and most importantly, it is a very high scoring unit in PYQs. You understand it? It is very high scoring, very, very high scoring in unit. So you have to be very particular about it. Now we'll be talking about what are the repeated themes in it. So if you'll take a close look and how we get to know PYQ, how we understand the repeated themes. We understand the repeated themes through PYQs. PYQs are very, very important. If you understand PYQs, if you have analyzed, so since I have analyzed 13 plus years of PYQs, it understand that writers and their works very important, characters plus novels, theories and theorist, movements and themes. So now what you have to focus on, if you have closely gone through the PYQs, you must know that every single year question comes from the Indian English novelist, poets, dramatists, diaspora writers, Indian aesthetics, what is Rasa theory, what is Dhavni theory, what is Vakroti, what is science critics. So we are going to deal with all of it, right? So what you will get in this class, you will get the PYQs, oriented learning, revision focused content, easier tricks, and easy ready-made understanding. Now we are going to understand that Indian English literature. So before starting anything, you would understand it, why it is important. What is Indian English literature? So Indian English literature means literature that is written by Indian writers in the English language, and that's where also we have an unit in English in India. So that is very much connected to it. If you not understand this thing, you're not going to understand why those commissions came up. So it is going to be very important. I'm saying this is going to be very important class for you. So please hold your pen, hold your copy and write it, okay? So it is not just the language based writing, it reflects India's culture, identity, history, social realities through English expression. So again, it is very important. So what are the main? So you have to understand the main phases of Indian English literature. So there are mainly three types of phases. The very first phase is beginning of Indian writing in English, how writers started writing in English. Now after they started writing English, now they are experimentation with the language. Now they are doing all the sort of things, themes, black verses, motifs, and all sort of things like we saw in Elizabethan age and the romanticism and the postmodernists, okay? Now they started their introduction of Indian themes in English literature. So early phase, Indian writing, experimentation, and the Indian themes. Then comes the nationalist phase. Again, very important. A lot of questions come from this particular section. So there was a strong influence you can see in the writing of the freedom struggle. Literature connected with Gandhi, nationalism and resistance, focus on social reform and political awareness. Again, so this is very important. Now we move to the post-independence phase. What is the post-independence phase? Means after the independence. Now what, the focus to identity shift to the selfhood. Now what, now our not identity is not only the focus, now the focus has shift to the selfhood. Now we talk about the themes of partition, migration, feminism and urban life, rise of modern narrative techniques. So this is very important. So what you have seen, we have seen the main phases of Indian English: early phase, nationalist phase and postmodern phase. Now what you have to remember, this is very important, before independence we were talking about the nationalism, writing for freedom, writing for reform and writing for identity building. If you will not understand this, you are not going to connect any of it theory. So please understand this thing, because it is very important you know the themes. एक बार जब आप themes, structure सारा कुछ note down कर लेते हो, it becomes very very easy for you. Okay. Now after independence, identity and society, now people started focusing on individual, culture, trauma and migration. Now the founding trio, very important for PYQs, please remember that. AMR trio, that is Mulk Raj Anand, as commonly grouped as Anand in the syllabus tradition. Mulk Raj Anand, Raja Rao and R.K. Narayan. These three writers were considered the pioneers of Indian English fiction. Very important. A lot of questions have come from particularly this. Okay. Now, why they are important? Why we are talking about it? Because they established the foundation of Indian storytelling in English. Earlier, we were not so used to English, right? Realistic depiction of Indian society. It was not that foreigners or Britishers were writing about the Indian like we are uncivilized and we don't know anything like that. Now what happened? Now the trio become the foundation and they are telling the story, because what we are, how Indians look, how Indian think, how Indian dress, how Indian social thinking is, that how India is so rich in heritage and culture. So these are the things, that is why they have become so important. So who are important? Mulk Raj Anand, Raja Rao and R.K. Narayan. And if you will closely look at the UGC NET PYQs, if you closely look with the UGC NET PYQs, you will always see the question particularly from these three writers, Mulk Raj Anand, Raja Rao and R.K. Narayan. All the chronological works comes from particularly these three. And in as of now, I just gave the example of exam of JPSC JET, and I got a lot of questions from particularly from Mulk Raj Anand and Raja Rao, the untouchable, and what were the themes. So this is very important. If you are ignoring this, you are losing your marks in your UGC NET. So just like I explained, social issues, caste, poverty, tradition, narrative style rooted in Indian experiences. Now if we'll talk about AMR, that builds on the Indian fiction, that Anand talks about social realism, Raja Rao talks about the philosophy in the tradition, and Narayan talks about the Malgudi and everyday. So these are the short notes that helps you in examination. You won't be able to remember the whole copy, but you will remember the whole tricks like that you have written it. So now we are going to start with none other than Mulk Raj Anand. He was born in 12th December 1905, Peshawar, and he died in 28th September 2004. Again, the biography of author is very important. They ask in UGC last year, they asked about the nationality, so it is very important so that we understand death, birth and year. Now why he is known for? He is known for the pioneer of Indian English fiction. He was writing in social realism, and he also talks about how marginalized and oppressed communities. Now here comes the your intellect, that how it is going to be, how you are representing India. Okay, how you are representing your India. That was a fact, and that what Mulk Raj Anand did. So if you talk about the themes in his writing: poverty, caste oppression, colonial exploitation and human dignity. You take up any work of Anand and he will be talking about the things which he has talked about: poverty, caste oppression, how other caste doing the oppression to the lower caste. Awards and honors, very important, you get every year. So he was awarded with Sahitya Akademi Award in 1970 for the Morning Face and Padma Bhushan in 1967. Now we'll be talking about the important work. The very first important work is Untouchable. Like, it has been repeated like 10 times a single question has been come in multiple times, has been appeared in your UGC net PYQ. You take up any year and there will be one question from Untouchable. Okay, so it was published in 1935 and the novel tells the story of Baka. So he is a protagonist, a young sweeper boy who faces humiliation because of caste discrimination in Indian society. That is why it is very important to know the themes. Okay, so the novel expresses a cruelty of untouchability and highlights the need for social reform. Because why it is important? Why? Because there was needs for some social reform, right? So Baka is the protagonist of Untouchable. A lot of you will see the protagonist, you have to match the following of the protagonist and the work. So again, it is very important. The next work is Coolie 1936 and the novel follows the tragic life of Muno, a poor boy, moves from place to place in search of work and survival. So कूली में क्या दिखाया गया है कि कैसे वो जगह जगह से मूव करता है जॉब के लिए and he does not get it, and it portrays exploitation, child labor, poverty and harsh realities of colonial India. Okay, now Two Leaves and a Bird, again all these works have been asked in UGC net. Again, see, we do not have any definite syllabus for UGC net English, right? And then it comes in the literature, we have n number of works. So what I am doing, I am giving you the, a fresh glass of water from the ocean. So please read it, understand it, and this is going to be very helpful for you. Two Leaves and a Bird, 1937. The novel focuses on the exploitation of a tea plantation worker. These are the small details that you have to understand. Okay, under the British colonial rule, through the character of Gangu, Anand criticizes economic injustice and colonial oppression. So again, this is talks about that. So can you see, अगर आप एक बार themes और ये सारी चीज़ को analyze कर ले तो it becomes very easy. Now the Big Heart. 1945. The novel deals with industrialization and the conflict between machine production and the traditional craftsmanship. It presents struggles with coppersmith workers and questions social inequality. So again, it is very, very important. Now comes The Road, 1961, and in this novel highlights the hardship faced by lower caste road workers in India, and it reflects Anand's counting concern for social justice and dignity of labor. So how even in today's world, if you'll see how the workers are being exploited in India, they have to work a lot and instead they get a very low return. They don't get what their real wages. Now we will be moving to Mr. Raja Rao. He is Raja Rao. You can see it. And he was born in 8 November 1908 in Hassan and he died in 8 July 2006. Can you see the dates? 8 November and 8 July. What a coincidence. Now he was known for the philosophical fiction. What does philosophical fiction means? He was giving a lot of philosophies and Indianization of English. It is very important. Please write it somewhere. It is very important. That is Indianization of English. What does that means? And again, if you will see the PYQs, it has been asked what does that means, Indianization of English. He uses a lot of Indian myths and spiritual ideas in English literature. Raja Rao believed that English language could express Indian culture, tradition, thoughts and patterns. Now, why he was talking that? Because the Britishers were degrading. They were degrading the social status of India. They were saying that we are uncivilized people. We don't know any style. We don't know any culture, right? So Raja Rao believed that he thought his writing style reflects Indian speech, rhythms and storytelling traditions. See, until unless you are not experiencing that, you won't be able to write it, right? Now, if you talk about the themes in his writing, Gandhianism and nationalism, Indian spirituality, myth and philosophy, identity and tradition. What did award Raja Rao has got? So I'll write so it will be very easy for you to understand. Raja Rao. So he has got Sahitya Akademi Award in 1964 for the work The Serpent and the Rope, and the Neshudat International Prize for Literature in 1988. So again, this is very important. Please write it. I'm again telling you, write it. You will get these questions in your examination. Important works, Kantapura. I don't need to introduce this work. This has been asked in your June 2025 and January 2025 and also in December, so a lot of time it has been come in your PYQ, either in the form of either in the form of match of the following or in the works. Again in JPSC also it is what asked. Okay, 1938. Now, this novel narrates the impact of Gandhian nationalism on a small South Indian village named Kantapura. Now, this is through a oral storytelling style. Raja Rao represents the awakening of political consciousness among ordinary village. So at that time what happens, he was talking about it as a very small village in Kantapura, and he was talking about how Gandhian nationalism work, how, and this is again a very interesting story. You should read this in detail, this is very important. So it is based on, what you have to remember is Gandhian nationalism in a South Indian village. Okay, now for this work only he has got the prize. 1916. And this philosophical, The Serpent and the Rope, explores the themes of spirituality, self-discovery, and the conflict between the Eastern and the Western thought. That what I said, that Britishers were not portraying India as it is, they were portraying it in a vague manner. So the protagonist searches for truth, identity through personal and intellectual experiences. It is very, very important to understand that why it has been written, what are the themes, so you have to take care of it. Okay, now the next work of Raja Rao is The Cat and Shakespeare, 1965. This short philosophical novel combines humor with spiritual reflection, and it also presents ordinary life experiences while discussing destiny, faith, Indian philosophical ideas. Again, it is very, very, very important. So Comrade Krylov, again the work of Raja Rao, it might come in your examination. This has also been one of the options of PYQs. It was written in 1976. The novel examines political ideology, revolutionary thought through philosophical. It reflects Raja Rao's interest in existential and political questions. So they were asking a lot of political consciousness, that why it was happening, why it is happening. So again, it is very, very important. So this was Raja Rao, and what we have discussed, the important works: Kantapura, The Serpent of the Rope, The Cat and the Shakespeare, and the Comrade Krylov. Now comes the most important writer, R.K. Narayan. You will get all the questions of him in the chronological sections. If you don't believe me, you can go and check it. He was born in 10th October 1906, Chennai, then Madras, died in 13th May 2001, and he was known for creating the fictional town called Malgudi. I guess every English literature should know this. He used to write in simple, realistic storytelling style, and he also focused on the middle class Indian life. Okay, he uses of humor, irony, and everyday situations. Now, what is the themes in his writing? If we'll talk about themes, he talks about the middle class India, human relationship, tradition versus modernity, moral dilemmas, and everyday struggles with Homer. If you talk about the awards, he has got Sahitya Akademi Award for the guide, and again this has been the PYQ की guide के बारे में आपको बताना है कि उसका protagonist क्या था, और you have got like 4 statements kind questions in the guide. He has got Padma Bhushan in 1964, and he's got Padma Vibhushan in 2000. So these are very important when you're reading Indian literature. You belong from Indian literature, you should be knowing the classics, the way we read in British literature, the classics, and here we are calling them classics, right? Now, important works, if you talk about Swami and Friends, 1935. This novel follows the innocent childhood of Swaminathan. Short में उसको स्वामी बोलते हैं, and his school life in Malgudi. It beautifully captures the world of childhood, friendship, and growing up in colonial India. And I have seen, if you do watch the series, is available on YouTube. A very beautiful story. Cricket matches in there, and he got his friends with a colonial boy, and how he wants the match, how he have to leave for the school. So many good picturization of Swami and Friends. It is a must watch. If you don't remember the plot line, you should watch this on YouTube. It is available. Now the guide, like 100 of times this has been asked in the PYQ, so you should be reading it. The Guide, 1958. This novel tells the story of Raju, a tour guide who transformed into spiritual guide by accident. So he was not a guide, okay? He was not a spiritual guide. He was just a guide. He, the tourist local guide. Now what happened, he wanted to, just fake his identity into a spiritual guide into village, and there he promised that, okay, I'll be, there in that village there was no rain was happening, and all the drought was happening. So what he said, I'll be doing a 10-day fast, and if that rain happens, I'll do that 10-day fast. Okay, and he does that, and eventually rain happened. So it was a story that how a tour guide transformed his spiritual journey by accident. It explored the themes of transformation, illusion, love, and almost, yes, he was in love, and that is why all the things. And then he got in redemption, and this is one of the Narayan's most famous works, and that is why we see every year this guide question is coming in. Okay, so that is why it is very important to understand it. Okay, now Malgudi Days, very important, 1943. This is a collection of short stories set in the fictional town of Malgudi, and each story, if you'll see, each story have a different moral. When I remember when I was young, in my childhood, of course, we used to see on DD National, if you, any one of you know still DD National, there was a Malgudi na 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 na, like that. The beginning was like that, and it was so, soothing to our heart, like, oh my god, like there will be some moral story. So it is always you get a moral story at the end of it, and it reflects the simple human emotions, everyday struggle, and humorous life situation, very beautifully portrayed by R.K. Narayan. Again, this you can watch on YouTube. So Malgudi is what you have to remember. Malgudi is a fictional town created by R.K. Narayan, and it represents a typical Indian small town life and appears in many of his novels and story. So you have to remember this. Okay. Now moving forward, that I have curated the most repeated works in chronological order UGC NET 2026. This can come, and it have already come in your PYQs. So, chronological orders. The very first work is Swami and Friends, 1935. Okay, we just discussed. The Bachelor of Arts, 1937, and it explores the life of Chandan, a college student dealing with love, disappointment, and it reflects the youthful confusion and the transition from adolescence to adulthood. The Bachelor of Arts. Then comes The Dark Room, 1938. It focuses on Savitri, a Indian housewife trapped in unhappy marriage, and it reflects the women's silence, domestic operation, and emotional suffering. Can you see The Dark Room, how it connecting the story like women's silence? So Malgudi Days we just discussed. Malgudi Days 1943. Then comes The English Teacher, 1945. It talks about the emotional journey of Krishna, an English teacher who experienced love, loss, and spiritual awakening, and it is deeply autobiographical and focuses on grief and inner peace. So again, this is very important. Sixth number is The Financial Expert, 1952. It tells the story of Margaya, a man obsessed with money and success, and it shows the rise and fall of a man driven by greed and ambition. Then comes The Guide, 1958. It is one of the most famous work we just discussed. Then The Man-Eater of Malgudi, this novel, 1961. This novel presents the conflict between the man and a taxidermist named called Vasu, and how he's symbolizing the greed and destruction. It has satirical and moral undertones. Again, it is very, very important. Now the next one is the 1967, The Vendor of Sweets. So this novel explores the clash between traditional values and the modern thinking through relationship of father and son, and it also reflects a generation conflict and cultural change. What happens is that if you will not revise it daily, chronological questions is not of everybody's cup of tea. You have to revise it daily. No shortcuts. I will not recommend any shortcuts for the chronological. You have to revise on daily basis. Like you have to see it like, okay, first number pe ye, second number pe ye, and you have to revise it daily. Then only you will understand other. Because I am just giving that one example. You have thousands of chronological options like that. And 10th is that A Horse and Two Goats, 1970, a humorous short story misunderstanding between an Indian villager and American tourist. Again, it talks about the differences, cultural differences, and irony. 11th number is that The Painter of Science, 1976, and this explores rationality of tradition through the character of Raman, a sign painter. It deals with love, ideology, and social expectations. So you see the themes are being very much prevalent. Then 12th, A Tiger for Malgudi, 1983. It is again a novel narrated by a tiger. Okay, it can come a question that which of the R.K. Narayan's work is narrated by a tiger. So Tiger for Malgudi, focusing on its relationship with the humans, spiritual transformation, and it reflects the themes of compassion and non-violence. So you see, first is Swami and Friends, The Bachelor of Arts, The Dark Room, Malgudi Days, English Teacher, Financial Expert, The Guide, The Man-Eater of Malgudi, The Vendor of Sweets, A Horse and Two Goats, The Painter of Science, A Tiger for Malgudi. Okay, so this is very important. What you have to think in sequence. 1935, Swami and Friends, Malgudi begins. 1943, Malgudi Days, stories expand. 1958, the guide masterpiece plus Booker level frame idea, and later comes the moral, philosophical, and modern conflicts. So this was very important. If you are not reading R.K. Narayan, you are losing your marks. So he's very important. Please read it. Okay. Now we'll be moving to the post-independence writers. Now we were dealing with the writers who were writing for freedom, who were writing for the identity. Now we will be writing for the after independence theme got changed. Now the writers focused on more on identity, partition, feminism, diaspora, memory, urban alienation. Okay, what is this identity? Now I'm fighting for my identity. I want to be free. As a woman, I want to be free. Partition novels that, you know, feminism raises started. Diaspora, the one who were living in India, now they are moved to the foreign land and now they miss their homeland. Memory is being changed every moment. What you were thinking yesterday, you are not thinking right now. So that was memory. Urban alienation, like all the people were shifting towards the city for job, for better education. So these were the things now you will be seeing in all the ideas of particular writer. Salman Rushdie, very important every time they ask. Okay, he was born in 19 June 1947, Mumbai. He was known for magic realism in post-colonial fiction, blending history, memory, imagination. Okay, since he was from Mumbai, has talked a lot about Mumbai. He has a strong focus on identity, politics, and migration. One of the most important post-modern Indian origin writers. So you have to be very particular about it. What awards he has got? He has got Booker Prize. Please mark it very important. Okay, he has talked about the Booker Prize, Midnight's Children, Booker of Bookers 1993, and Best of the Booker in 2008. So this is very important, very important. Now we'll be talking about his most important work, Midnight's Children, that is 1981. And this novel follows the life of Salim Sinai, who is born at the exact moment of India's independence. See how beautifully he has portrayed that the moment we are getting independence, Salim Sinai has born at that particular moment. And that what his life becomes magically connected to the history of modern India, and he's talked about a lot of personal story, minor national events, that how he was growing and how the independence of the India was taking place. So this is very, you know, obviously magic realism, right? So what are the key features? Magic realism blends real historical events with the magical and fantastical elements in natural way. Salim Sinai, he is the narrator and the protagonist whose life is mysteriously linked with India's destiny. Okay, Indian independence, the novel directly connects personal identity with the birth and the development of independent India. Now, what is Midnight's Children? He has won an award for the Booker Prize 1981, that you have to remember. Now, you have to understand this thing. Born at midnight, born with independent India, and this timeline will help you remember the Salim Sinai's birth, India's independence, that is 15th August 1947 midnight, and the symbolic connection between individual and the nation. Now we'll be talking about Amitav Ghosh, again very important. Every year you will be seeing the PYQs from particular section. Okay, he was born in 11 July 1956 in Kolkata, and he is known for historical fiction, post-colonial narratives, deep focus on what? Migration, borders, memory, and he was blending history with the storytelling. So how he blends history with the storytelling, he will be talking about the story, and a lot of things will be happening in particular things. Okay, so very important. This is themes. क्या है important themes? So borders, national and emotional, colonialism and empire, migration and displacement, history and memory, identity in a global world. कैसे identity मिलेगा इस पूरे global world में आपको? And that's what he has talked about. If we talk about the awards and honors, Sahitya Akademi Award for the Shadow Lines, and Padma Shri for the Padma Shri in 2007. Gyanpith Award 2018, very important. Now we'll be talking about his most important works, The Shadow Lines 1988. This novel explores how borders are not just physical but emotional and psychological. If we talk about India and Pakistan, it is not just the border, it is inherited in our veins. Whenever we have a terror attack, we somehow are forced, our psyche is forced to have, that this might be an attack from Pakistan. right? So it is somehow it is not just the physical borders we have made it, but it is also emotional and psychological connected. It shows how memories, nationalism, and personal experience shapes our understanding of nation's identity. And this what reminds me of Dhurandhar, that how he has talked about the borders and how everything was aligned, the identity, the selfhood, the crime, the land. So it is very deeply connected, you just your you into get you get into your veins, everything startly get connected to it, right? So the shadow lines deals with the borders and memory, okay? The Glass Palace 2000, it talks about the history of Burma. You have to remember that India and Malaysia through the colonial and post-colonial times. It follows multiple generation, explores the impact on the British imperialism and migration, okay? Sea of Poppies 2008, it was set in the 19th century, and this novel focuses on the opium trade, interior labor system, and under the British colonial. It also follows diverse characters through the together on ship, highlighting colonial exploitation and migration. It is very, very important, very important. So borders, what do you have to remember? Borders, shadow lines, colonial history, the Glass Palace, and if you talk about the opium trade and migration, it talks in the Sea of Poppies, as its name suggests. Now we'll be talking about Arundhati Roy, again very important, very, very important. She was born in 24 November 1961, Shillong. She is known for fictional and political writing, strong critic of caste, capitalism, and power structure. So Arundhati Roy is very, if you'll talk about perspective, she has talked about post-colonial feminist perspective a lot. You will see a blend of personal narrative and with the social issue. Like suppose I'm having a social, my personal narrative is that I don't like when a women being oppressed. So it is my personal narrative, and now how I am, blending it with the social issue as a dowry system, okay? Dowry system. So this is how we connect, and this is how she has connected. She has got the Booker Prize in 1997 for the work The God of Small Thing. Again, this is a PYQ. Every year they ask some more things, like from they'll give one statement from particular work of Arundhati Roy. And last year also the pregnant lady something pregnant, there was some particular quote was that, and it has presented. Then Sydney Prize, Peace Prize 2004. So the God of Small Things. So what it happens that the story tells a tragic story of fraternal twins Estha and Rahel in Kerala, whose childhood is shaped by family conflict, social norms, and forbidden relationships. The narrative moves between the past and present, showing how small events can have a lifelong consequences, and this is how everybody's life. You just have a small conflict. You are going somewhere, you are going to your college or you are going to your workplace, and you just have a conflict with your auto driver. The moment you are having an conflict with your auto driver, your whole day will be spoiled. You won't be having any good vibes. The moment you are in class, you will be thinking, okay, इस जगह पे मेरे को ये बोलना चाहिए था, ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए था, वो ज़्यादा पैसा ले लिया या मेरे से कम पैसा ले लिया. You will have that thing, and that is very small even. It is negligence. It have a negligence control over our presence being. But how it changes our entire, and these small events can have lifelong consequences that triggers you. The next time you'll be sitting in the auto, you will have that preconceived notions. Okay, I have to say this, I have to say that, and that what he's talk about. I just gave an example. It is not about the auto story in this. Mind it. The God of Small Things does not have any auto story. Okay, we will talking about the themes. She has talked about family relationship and trauma. That's what I talked about. Caste system and social hierarchy, love laws, social restriction, childhood innocence, and social reality. This is very important. In graduation, you used to write themes. Particularly, we used to write themes for 2 pages, and we have to explore it, like critical appreciation, how you are going to critical appreciate. And this is, see, If you are not having focus on these particular things, you think just taking it in your UGC NET exam will get you a job? No, my dear friend, you won't be getting any job. You have to understand it. And also, if you think that just clearing net will get you job, no, your API score says something. If you do not have PhD, if you do not have any other skills in you, if you cannot deliver a lecture like this a lot, like every year twice they are getting assistant professors, JRS and everything, why it's still so many people are unemployed? Because either they do not have any API score, or they do not possess any skills. Like if they are being told that please in the interview that talk about the wasteland, they are like, I do not have any idea of it, I just take the marks. No, so it will not help you. Okay, so The God of Small Things won the Booker Prize 1997. Very important. Small things, big consequences. So the novel shows how small incident in life can destroy or shape an entire destinies, especially within the greed social structures. Now we will be talking about the women writers, very important for NET, Anita Desai. She was born in 24 June 1937, Mussoorie. What she has talked about? Psychological fiction, deep exploration of inner emotional work, focus on alienation, loneliness and family tensions, and one of the most important Indian women novelist in English. Okay, what are the themes in her writing? क्या किस themes के बारे में बात करती हैं? Isolation, loneliness, psychological conflict, female subjectivity, family relationship, memory and inner consciousness. ठीक है, very important. Awards: साहित्य अकादमी अवार्ड फॉर द फायर ऑन द माउंटेन, Guardian Prize for the Children's Fiction for the Village by the Sea, and Sahitya Akademi Award Fellowship for in 2014. Again, these are very important. So Anita Desai, psychological fiction, illness, Sahitya Akademi Award, prize for children's fiction, and Sahitya Akademi Award. Okay, now we'll be talking about the important works. Cry the Peacock. So the novel focuses on Maya, 1963, a sensitive, emotionally disturbed woman trapped in an unhappy marriage. Okay, now when we talk about an unhappy marriage, what exact lines or scene come in your mind? Please do let me know in the comment section. I would love to read your perception. Like Iyer Richards done the experiment. I just gave you the word unhappy marriage. The word is unhappy marriage. Do let me know in the comment section what scene or what idea you get when you see this unhappy marriage word. I would love to read your comments. Okay, because since it is psychological breakdown, I want to know everybody's mind, like what are you thinking about it? Okay, obsession with death and isolation. Now, Clear Light of Day, 1980, and this deals with Das family, especially with the siblings Beam and Tara and their complex relationship between the past and present, showing how memory, guilt, family ties shape their lives. That's Clear Light of Day. Now, what is important for your UGC NET? Anita Desai, psychologist novel. What she has focused on? She has focused on inner world, not the external action. What is the strong emphasis? She has given a strong expression on female experiences and the emotional isolation. Now, what you have to remember, Desai means depth of mind. Okay, external world less focus, internal mind maximum focus. Okay, now we move to the Shashi Deshpande. She was born in 19 August 1938, Dharawat. She is known for feminist writing in Indian English literature, exploration of middle class women's inner lives, and focus on silence, identity and domestic struggles, realistic portrayal of martial and social constraints. So Shashi Deshpande, again very important. What are the themes in her writing? If you talk about the themes in her writing, it is basically फेमिनिज्म एंड वुमेन्स आइडेंटिटी. क्या फेमिनिज्म है, क्या वुमेन्स आइडेंटिटी है, साइलेंस एंड सेल्फ सप्रेशन, मैरिज एंड डोमेस्टिक लाइफ, इनर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन, पेट्रियार्कल सोशल स्ट्रक्चर. सो कैन यू सी हाउ दीज आर related with very feminine kind of thing? What are the operations, what are the domestic self realization, what are the inner conflict? So again, it is very important. Again, award Sahitya Akademi Award for that long silence. Again, this has been asked in PYQ, and a lot of questions from that, particularly the long silence. And she has also got the Padma Shri in 2009. Okay, I know it's too much, but if you will complete this entire video and watch it twice to thrice, you will get the maximum benefit out of it. Yes, believe me. That long silence, 1988. Now, this novel follows Jaya, who is a middle class Indian housewife. She reflects on her life, marriage, and suppressed voice through her internal monologue. Now, how you're talking about your life, like what I'm doing in my life, is my life good, am I happy or not? So, this novel explores how women often remain silent within family, society, even when they are deeply unhappy. And this has been the continuous, a matter of concern, that why the women are not representing their true self. Why it is within, you have to, like, why it has given the taker of that particular woman, that you have to, take all the families together even though you are unhappy in a family. So this was the thing that talked about in that long silence. What are the key themes? Key themes is women's silence, self-suppression, patriarchal expectations in marriage, identity crisis of middle class women, and search of self-expression. Very strong themes. Very strong themes. You should understand why Shashi Deshpande has talked about it. Now, PYQ, silence becomes a form of survival in a patriarchal society. Deshpande means the silence of a woman. So, loud society outside, silent struggles inside. Now, we'll be talking about Kamala Das. She was born in 31st March 1934 in Pune, Urukulam. She died on 31st May 2009. What she's known for? Now, she was known for confessional poetry. Now, what does that confessional poetry means? Confessional poetry means you are sharing the minutest details, from brushing your teeth till sleeping naked. So this was confessional poetry. Now this is the bold expression of female desire and identity, autobiographical writing style, writing in both English and Malayalam. So this is a point of concern, you have to note it down, that Kamala Das was known for the bold confessional poetry, brushing or sleeping naked. She was be writing everything. She wrote Malayalam under the pen name of Madhava Kuti. Okay, so you have to remember this also. It can be asked what was the pen name. So obviously you have to remember all the pen names if any writers have it. What are the themes in her writing? Themes in her writing: female identity and selfhood, love, desire, sexuality, emotional honesty and vulnerability, patriarchal constraint, personal experiences and confession. What is these? What you earlier it was not allowed to talk about sexuality, what a women feel, sexuality. So now she was the one who came up with the idea, confessional poetry kind of thing. Now awards, a lot of awards she has got: Sahitya Akademi Award for the collected poems in 1985, Kerala Sahitya Akademi Award, Ichutachan Award 2009, and Asan World Prize in 2008. Okay, now we'll be talking about the important works. Summer in Calcutta 1965. This is her first major poetry collection in English. It talks about the themes of love, longing, and identity. My Story 1976. This autobiographical works her personal life, emotional struggles, and experiences in marriage. And it is written in frank, confessional tone, become controversial for its bold honesty about female desire and identity. So you see, just now I told you about, because it was, confessional thing. Means you are not hiding things to yourself. You're just saying things without any Kamala Das, confessional poet, voice of Indian English poetry. She broke down traditional silences around women's emotions and sexuality. So Kamala Das, heart speaks without fear, no filters, pure emotional honesty, women speaking her truth. So what is that? You have to understand it. Okay, No filters, pure emotional honesty, women speaking her truth. So this is Kamala Markandia. She born in 1st January 1924, Mysore. She died in 16 May on 2004. What she was known for? She was known for social realism in post-colonial India, East-West cultural conflict, and rural poverty versus modernization. So what are the themes? If we'll talk about the theme of Kamala Markandia, rural India poverty, East versus West cultural clash, what is the women's sufferings, what is industrialization's impact. So these are very important. If you once you understand the theme of any particular work or any particular writer, any work of that particular writer will become very easy for you. So you have to understand that. So the important works is that Nectar and Sieves, published in 1954. This story tells of the story of Rukmani. She is a rural woman whose life is affected by poverty, famine, and industrial change. This shows out how traditional rural life collapses under the modern economic pressure. So when we are seeing, even in today's world, you will be seeing how the economic progressions takes place, right? It's the it's the just the example of gas cylinder, how it has been like अचानक से बिल्कुल it is out of the market. You have to book your gas cylinder, then after 45 days it will give all. And that's where we see the demand and supply, the Marxism and the capitalism thing. The moment gas cylinder was gone, the what we say, induction market gone to rise, and that's what we say. So these are the things which having the economic pressures on us. Okay, then the Some Inner Fury, 1955. This novel explores the impact of Indian freedom struggle on personal relationship. It highlights the conflict between the political ideology and the human emotions. Okay, now Toru Dutt everybody should know. और इनके तो पोइट्रीज़ के बारे में वी हैव कैसेरेना टी, वी studied that in our graduation. So she was born in 4 March 1856 in Calcutta, and she died on 30th of August 1877. Okay, what she was known for? She was known for the earliest Indian English poets. Okay, romantic and patriotic poetry and the translation of French literature into English. This is very important. You should see, जो भी आपके लिए न्यू है, जो आपको नहीं पता है, ठीक है, उस राइटर के बारे में न्यू कुछ अलग, जैसे कोई भी फॉरेन लैंग्वेज है लिटरेचर का, फ्रेंच हो गया, जर्मन हो गया, सो आप उसको नोट डाउन करते रहो. दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू. ओके, themes, she talks about nature and nostalgia, Indian mythology, patriotism, and romantic sensibility. Okay, now we'll be talking about the important works of Toru Dutt. The very first important work of Toru Dutt is that A Shelf of Gleaned in French Fields. Obviously she translated things into English from French, so French poems in English. That shows her linguistic brilliance into early Indo-European literary connections. Okay, then The Ancient Ballads and the Legends of Hindustan, 1882, posthumous. And this collection retells Indian mythology stories, English poetry, and it blends Indian mythologies with the Western poetic form. So again, how she has talked about the Indian ballads, legends of Hindustanism. So again, it is very, very important. You have to understand. Now, Rohinton mystery, you have to, last year, a lot of PYQs you would be seeing the Rohinton mystery. So I thought of included in this particular thing. So Rohinton Mistry, born on 30th July 1952, Mumbai, and known for diasporic fiction, realistic portrayal of urban life, social and political critiques. So again, it is very important. Okay, if you talk about the themes, urban poetry, political corruption, Parsis community life. Again, so this is new thing, so you have to Rohinton mystery, you have to understand that. Migration and displacement and the human dignity and the under operation. So why it is important, why we are talking a lot of that. So Such a Long Journey, important work, 1991. This novel follows Gustave Nobel, a Parsi bank clerk whose life is disrupted by political corruption and the national crisis in India, and that would reflect the politics and the ordinary middle class life, how the political corruption changes our entire life. And this is very, very, very important. You have to read this. Again, A Fine Balance. This was asked in your UGC net PYQ. Fine Balance 1995. This novel portrays four characters from the different background during the emergency period in India. Okay, and that what it highlights poverty, caste operations, and survival under political training. This is very important. Then comes again the family matters. So the novel expresses on an aging man suffering from illness and the family conflicts, and it explores aging, family responsibility, and the emotional complexity in the urban life. So Kamla Markandeya, rural India plus East versus West. If you talk about Kamla Markandeya, we are just summing it up. Kamla Markandeya, rural India plus East versus West, Toru Dutt, early Indo-English poetry plus mythology, and Rohinton mystery, diaspora, urban realism, and politics. So this is what you have to understand for the revision purpose. When you, while you were revising thing, you have to revise this thing. Okay, if Kamla Markandeya comes, rural India plus she has talked about the East versus West. Now we have to understand what is diaspora writers, why, what that particularly means. So diaspora writers live outside homeland but remain emotionally connected to it. I might be, settled in London, okay, after a few years, or after a decade, or after months, I don't know. Suppose I get settled in London, okay, but I do belong from India, and no matter how many years I'm going to live in India, London, but my heart will remain in India. I will be emotionally connected to India. I can no, my parents are here, my friends are here, my family is here. I have been born and brought up in India, so it is the diaspora writer. When I'll become a writer and I'll settle in London, so that will become a diaspora writer. I hope you will understand things. Okay, I will be living in London. I'll be having all the life which I ever wanted to be, but the moment I see any Indian writers writing it, and any themes of Indian that's celebrated in London, I'll just feel nostalgic. I'll just feel nostalgic about it, that I want to also. And then if I'll start writing at that time, I will be diasporic writer. So that's what's called diaspora. I hope this example you can place yourself as a writer diaspora and settle in anywhere of in the world, and then when you write about India and you feel connected to homeland, and that's called the diasporic writer. You will never forget that example. So Jhumpa Lahiri, born in oh wow, I literally, when I made the PDF, but London was my, I want to go London. If I get a chance, I'll definitely go to London. So Jhumpa Lahiri, born 11 July 1967, London. Wow. हेलो,
कितना कॉपी?
हाँ,
कितना कॉपी निकालना है?
एक एक कॉपी।
ठीक है।
क्लास तो मेरा यहाँ पे कट कर देना है डायस्पोरिक लंदन पे, ठीक है, फोन जहाँ पे आ रहा था वहाँ पे। She grew up in the United States. Now she was known for diasporic literature, exploration of immigrant identity, simple, precise, emotionally deep storytelling, and focus on Indian American experience. What are the themes in her writing? Identity crisis, immigration and displacement, cultural conflict, India versus America, family relationship, and the belonging and alienation. So these were the themes of Jhumpa Lahiri. What are the awards and honors? So Pulitzer Prize in 2000 for the interpreter of Maldives, PEN Hemingway Award, National Humanities Medal 2014 USA. So what are the important works? So Interpreter of Maldives. This is a collection of short stories focusing on Indian immigrants in America and their emotional struggles, how they are doing it. So each story explores loneliness, communication gaps, and the cultural misunderstandings in every day. This is very difficult if you go anywhere in the world to stay, to adapt their culture. It is very the difficult thing in the world is that going somewhere else and adapting their everything, it's very difficult. It has that communication gap, cultural misunderstanding, a lot of things will happen. Okay, so a lot of PYQs from this, and this also won the Pulitzer Prize, so you have to remember it. Then the namesake, this is on YouTube, you can watch the movie also. This novel follows the Ganguly, the son of Indian immigrants in America, who struggle with his name, identity, and culture belonging. Like all the friends of why your name is Gogol Ganguly, and that's become so matter of concern. Like whole plot was talking about why your name is that, just the namesake. So this shows the tension between Indian tradition and the American lifestyle across generations. So obviously, see, every world, every different region has its own taste and temperaments, and somehow it becomes very difficult for an Indian to get there in America and writing everything. Like, they got a lot of struggle to get into that school, and particularly for the name. Important themes: immigrants' identity crisis, hyphenated identity, Indian in America, cultural displacement, generational conflict, and search for belonging. Lahiri, life between two worlds, India, roots, America, new identity, and always in between. Okay. Now we talk about the Bharti Mukherjee, born on 27 July 1940, Kolkata, and died in 28 January 2007. Known for diasporic and immigration fiction, focus on identity transformation in migration. You might have understood it as of now. Then the strong portrayal of South Asian women in Invest. So this is a new thing. Okay, transition from expatriate identity to the immigrant identity. What are the themes in our writing? So migration and displacement, transformation of identity, hybrid and fluid identity, east plus west, and cultural adaptation and survival, female immigrant experience. So these are the things that you have to keep in her mind while you were reading Bharti Mukherjee. Okay. So what are the awards? The National Book Critics Circle Award for the Middleman and the Other Stories, and multiple literary awards on the USA fiction on the immigration and the diaspora. Now what are the important works? The important works are The Tiger's Daughter, wow, 1971. Okay, so this novel follows Tara Banerjee, an Indian woman who returns to India after studying in the US. Okay, so now she experiences a cultural shock as she realizes she no longer fully belongs to India or America. Now this is a matter of concern, like it highlights the early stage of immigrant identity conflict. Like you are, see, the one earlier you were living in India, and now you move to America. Now you stayed there for like 10 years. Now when you are back to India, like sudden you don't belong here. Now everything has changed. Your eating habit changed, your dressing habit has changed, your sleeping pattern has changed, your thinking has developed, you are become more aware of things surrounding to yourself. Now you belong, like I am not either belonging to the America or not to the India. So that becomes very difficult for her, and that's what she shows in The Tiger's Daughter. Then Wife, 1975, this novel tells the story of Dimple Dasgupta, an Indian woman who migrates America after marriage, and her psychological breakdown reflects alienation, frustration, and the failure of assimilation. Jasmine, in 1989, and this is one of her most important works. Why? Because it follows Jyoti, or Jasmine, a woman who continuously transform her identity across different stages of migration from India to America. Now, in this, the novel explores survival, reinvention, and the fluid identity in diaspora life. So, Bhakti Mukherjee means identity in constant transformation. You are changing, you are settling. While you are settling in America, you are changing. While again resettling in India, you are changing your identity. So, that's what she has talked about. That what I said, her characters do not have fixed identity. कोई fixed identity नहीं है. They constantly based on migration and the survival needs. जैसा जिसको need है उस time पे वो change कर रहा है. So Mukherjee means migration changes identity, one person, many identities, and constant transformation that you have to remember for the Mukherjee. Now we move to the important poet, Nazim Ezekiel. Very important poet. You have to read all the works of it. Okay, born on 16 December 1920, he is my personal favorite. He's my favorite. Died 9 January 2004. Known for father of modern Indian English poetry. He's talked about realistic, urban, and conversational style. He talks about like in his poem you'll be talking like two person as there and talking. Uses of irony, simplicity, and everyday language, and strong influence on post-independence Indian poetry. And this is the way you should read your poet. Okay. Themes in his poetry. What are the themes in his poetry? So, urban middle class life, irony and self-awareness, human struggle and faith, cultural identity, and journey disillusionment. So these are the themes in his poetry. Okay. Now what are the awards he has got? Sahitya Akademi Award for 1983, the Latter Day Psalms, and the Padma Shri in 1988. Okay, what are the important ones? You might, the one who are doing their graduation, they might be knowing about the Night of the Scorpion. This poem describes a rural incident where the mother is stung by the scorpion and a rainy day, and this poem contrasts superstitions, rational thinking, as villagers trying different remedies while the speaker's father uses science. And that what it shows, that human emotions, fear, and cultural beliefs. A lot of raining and everybody is doing some sort of thing, superstitions. Nobody's talking. So after that, his father at last uses science to do that. Now, the Enterprise, this poem is an allegorical journey of a group of pilgrims who start a spiritual quest but gradually face a disillusionment, and it reflects how idealism get lost in reality, leading to fragmentation and the loss of purpose. And that's what we talk about in that 20th century works. Nizam Ezekiel means modern Indian English poetry begins with him. Ezekiel means everyday Indian poetry. Simple language will be there, real life situation will be there. You will be knowing it. Yes, why I have seen that. Urban plus rural contrast, irony and realism. Okay. Now A.K. Ramanujan, very important again. A lot of PYQs in match of the following. You can see him. Born on 16 March 1929, Mysore, died in 13 July 1993. Known for major modern English poet, scholar of folklore, linguistics, and Indian tradition, deep exploration of family, memory, and cultural identity, and blend of Indian and Western intellect traditions. Okay, themes. What are the themes in his poetry? If you talk about the themes in his poetry, the family relationship and inheritance will be there, memory and personal history, cultural roots and identity, irony of tradition versus modern life, the death and continuity. So these are the themes in his poetry. What are the awards he has got? MacArthur Fellowship 1983 and the Sahitya Akademi Award posthumously for the collected poems. Okay. Now, what are the important poems? These are asked in the PYQs. Obituary. This poem is about the death of the poet's father, reflects on how a life is remembered after death, and it shows us how family members deal with loss, inheritance, and the memories in different ways. The tone is ironic, reflective, and deeply personal. Okay. Key themes are family and generational change, memory and personal history, death and inheritance, and the cultural irony in ritual and tradition. And these are the things which helps you in your UGC net examination. While you are sitting in examination, you don't remember the whole thing, but you remember the themes and you relate it with that, and then you use your elimination technique. Okay. What are the important for UGC net? A.K. Ramanujan means memory turns into personal life into poetry, and Ramanujan means roots and remembrance. Family bonds, childhood plus past, emotional memory, and the cultural identity. Now we are moving to Jayant Mahapatra, born on 22nd October, Cuttack, died on 27 August 2023. Known for one of the most important modern English poets, strong use of silence, reflection, and symbolism, and deeply connected with the Odisha's landscape and culture, a philosophical and meditative tone. What are the themes? What themes are there? Silence and emptiness, memory and time, nature of landscape of Odisha, identity, spirituality, since a lot of temples are there in Odisha. Human suffering and existential reflection. What are the awards? Sahitya Akademi Award 1981 for the relationship, Padma Shri 2009, and Sahitya Akademi Fellowship in 1993. Can you see how many awards they are getting it? So you need to work a lot. Important feature, minimalistic style, strong visual imagery, and symbolic use of silence. So silence is being used in many ways, and many other, in Kamla Markandeya in other way, Torudat other way. So you have to see, okay. So blend of personal and cultural memory, and the Jayant Mahapatra poetry of silence and landscape. So he does not over explain emotions, but he suggests them through the images of silence. Okay. Mahapatra means silence speaks louder than words, quiet poetry, deep imagery, Odisha's landscape, emotional resonance, and that's what I believe into it. Silence speaks louder than the words. What are your views? Do let me know in the comment section. Do you agree with that? Now we come to the end section where we are going to talk about the Indian drama. You talk about Indian drama, and if you don't know Girish Karnad, you are not living in India. Okay. Girish Karnad, born on 19 May 1938, Mahitharan, and he died on 10th June 2019. What he's known for? He's known for one of the most important modern Indian dramatists. He uses myth, folklore, history of drama, writing in Kannada and English. Again, it is very important. You have to highlight that. He used the blending tradition with the modern existential concern. What are the themes in his play? Myth and modern reality, identity and conflict, power politics, human psychology, and social and moral dilemmas. So everything, you just name it and he has talked about it. What are the awards and honors? Gyanpith Award 1998, Padma Shri 1974, Padma Vibhushan 1992, Padma Vibhushan 1998. What are the important places? Hayavadana, PYQ. I have done in my handwritten notes also, however, and that exactly what I made the short notes came in examination. So sometimes it happens that you have made the notes and it exactly comes from it. Okay. So Hayavadana 1971, very interesting play. This play is based on from the Katha Sarit Sagar. This was the question, and also inspired by the Thomas Mann's retelling of body and mind identity themes. It explores the idea of incomplete identity through a mythological framework where heads and bodies are exchanged, questioning what makes a person complete. Okay. IQ fact here, Hayavadana is based on what? Katha Sarit Sagar, and that's the Thomas Mann's retelling. Okay. Now Tughlaq is a historical play. Again, it was asked in PYQ, so you have to relate it. And this play portrays the reign of Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq, known for his idealism and failures. It explores the political ambition and the gap between vision and the reality. And we read in this one in our graduation. Very interesting one. You have to show it. Then Nagamandala, this play is based on the Kannada folklore, revolves around a neglected wife who turns into a magical relationship with a cobra in human form. Okay. Very interesting. You should read this in detail. If you want something interesting, you can read this in detail. It explores the theme of desire, marriage, gender roles, and myth versus reality. So Girish Karnad means myth used to question modern society. Like he has related with myth and the modern society. He uses ancient stories to explore modern identity, politics, and psychology. So Karnad, myth plus modern conflict. He uses past stories, present problems, identity crisis, and symbolic drama. Now we are moving forward to Vijay Tendulkar. He was born on 6 January 1928, Mumbai, and he died on 19 May 2008. What he is known for? He's known for one of the most influential modern Indian playwright, critic of middle class morality and hypocrisy. Yes, the word hypocrisy. Realistic and often controversial theatre, and he focused more on power, gender, and violence in society. Now, what is the theme? So, theme here is the patriarchy and the gender oppression, social hypocrisy, violence, physical and psychological, moral corruption, middle class society, individual versus conflict. So, these are the things that you have to keep in mind. Okay. Awards: Sahitya Akademi Award 1972 for Shantala Court Chalu Ahe. Shanta Court Chalu Ahe. Then Padma Bhushan 1984, then Sangeet Natak Akademi Award. What are the important plays? Silence. The court is in the session that was Shanta, Court Chalu Aaye. In 1967, the play revolves around a group of amateur theatre actors who stage a mock court trial. Okay, so this was a mock court trial, but it gradually turns into a real emotional and psychological attack on a woman named Leela Binere. So the play exposed how society judges and humiliates women under the mask of morality and respectability. Again, this is very important play. You need to understand it. What are the key themes in this? It is patriarchy, control over women, social hypocrisy and moral judgment, psychological violence, female sexuality and societal shame, power structure in the middle class society. Now, what is important idea for UGC NET? Vijay Tendulkar means truth behind social mask. He unveils it. That has been behind the mask. He shows how society pretends to be moral, but it is actually violent and oppressive underneath. Okay, so Tendulkar, court of society, exposes truth. Court matlab society, trial means women's life, and verdict means hypocrisy revealed. Now we come to an end. That was complete Indian literature. If you watch this complete video 3 times and revise daily, I'm 100% sure that out of like 10 questions, you will be able to do 7 out of 10, because 3 we don't know from where the UGC will. I am 100% sure that you can expect 7 questions out of 10 correctly. Yes. because these are the most important things and these are the most repeated things, and that is why I'm saying, if you do this, if you do not have any basic thing, if you do not have anything in Indian literature, if you're doing this, you are doing great in your life. Okay, so now we'll be talking about the most repeated UGC net PYQs Indian literature. Who created the fictional town of Malgudi? This has been repeated, you can see it, and you can see this was asked in UGC net. So it was none other than R.K. Narayan. Malgudi is a fictional South Indian town used in many of his novels. Now, Bakha is the protagonist of which novel? Again, very important one. You can pause it and you can answer. It is none other than The Untouchable. Bakha represents caste operations in Mulk Raj Anand's novel. Again, it is very, very important. Now, who wrote The God of Small Things? None other than the Arundhati Roy. She also won Booker Prize in 1997. Okay, father of modern English Indian poetry. Tell me the answer. It is none other than Nazim Ezekiel. He modernized Indian English with a poetic style. Moving forward, who wrote Kara Karu? Again, it is Bama, a Dalit autobiographical novel. Then Salim Sinai is a character in It is Amidnight's Children. Salman Rushdie uses magic realism. Then Hayavadana is written by, it is none other than by Girish Karnad, based on myths and identity conflicts. Who wrote Natya Shastra? This is actually of Indian aesthetics. We'll be doing that. As of now, I'll tell you. Bharat Muni, Foundation of Indian Aesthetics. Suggestion is the soul of poetry. In associated with what? It is associated with none other than Andhavardhana, Indian Aesthetics. Divine Dhavni theory from the Dhyana Loka. Vakroti theory was proposed by Kunatak. Beauty lies in the systolic deviation. Dhvani theory is founded in the Dhyana Loka by Anand Dharna. If you want me to make same kind of video for Indian aesthetics, do let me know in the comment section. I will make that. I have put the most repeated PYQs from Indian literature that consists Indian aesthetics also. If you want me, you can write me in the comment section, ma'am, we want Indian aesthetics video also. I will be preparing the same kind of video for Indian aesthetics. This took me a lot of time to create it. Auchitya means what? Appropriateness, charitya. Okay, औचित्य. क्या औचित्य है? Keshmendra's theory of literary propriety. How many total traditional rasas are? It is none other than 9. Narvasa system in Nashta. Who is known for universalizations of emotion? It is Abhinav Gupta. He explained rasa experience for audience. The Shadow Lines is written by Amitav Ghosh. Deals with the borders and memory. Then comes Interpreter of Maladis. So it won the Pulitzer Prize by Jhumpa Lahiri. Who wrote Swami and Friends? R.K. Narayan, first Malgudi novel. Then Kantapura is based on what? Kantapura is based on the Gandhian nationalism by Raja Rao. Which theory focus on stylistic deviation? It is Vakrakroti by Kuntaka. You can see how many questions are being asked in the UGC net by Indian literature. A lot are there. I'll be doing it in other series. Which poet is known for the Night of the Scorpion? It is Nazim Ezekiel. Realistic depiction of the rural life and superstition. And that's we come to an end. Okay, so this was it. By now you will understand that why English is important in India. Why are we reading? Why it was the need for English in India? How women expressed their poetry. Okay, who talked about society, who talked about modern themes, who talked about Indianization of English, who has talked about the controversies, who has talked about the consciousness. So these are the things that you have to understand, why it is important, how many phases are there in India, what made the Indianization, the colonial period, then the post-colonial period. So these are the things that we discussed in today's video. If you found this video helpful, do not forget to like, share with your friends, those who are preparing for UGC net. Indian literature is very important for your UGC net. And also, if you want me to make the video on Indian aesthetics, do let me know in the comment section and I'll definitely going to make it. Till then, keep learning, keep shining. Bye bye.